from the City of Presidents. It's the All About Quincy podcast. This is your host, John Melly. Join me as we explore the history, hidden gems, and highlight the businesses with great stories that all tell the tale why Quincy, Massachusetts is a great place to live. Hey there, it's John. How are you? Thanks for spending time with me today. I do appreciate it. Welcome back for another episode of the All About Quincy podcast. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Before we get to today's topic, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, throwmydogabone.com. It's a way for you to support both this podcast and the Forever Home New England Dog Rescue. You know, we're dog lovers here at the All About Quincy podcast, and we got our rescue dog, Trudy, from Forever Home New England Dog Rescue. And here's how Throw My Dog a Bone works. Go to the All About Quincy podcast site and click the Throw My Dog a Bone link at the top of the page. Or you can go to throwmydogabone.com. When you get there, you're going to see a picture of Trudy, and you can buy 1, 5, 10, or even 20 digital dog bones. They are not real dog bones. It's a metaphor. And 20% of all the proceeds after bank processing fees will be donated to Forever Home New England Dog Rescue. And the rest is going to be used to support this podcast. So go to allaboutquincypodcast.com, click the Throw My Dog a Bone link at the top of the page, and buy 1, 5, 10, or even some people have purchased 20 digital dog bones at throwmydogabone.com. Throwmydogabone.com, supporting content creators and helping dogs find loving homes. So my guests today are Denise Hajar and Karen Smizer, and we're going to talk about a fashion show. Want to go to a fashion show? I got to be honest. That's a question I never thought I would ask, but I'm going to ask. You want to go to a fashion show? Because this fashion show is for a great cause, and we're going to learn all about that in my conversation with Denise and Karen. But before we do, I want to just thank everyone for all your kind words and shares of the previous episode with Lieutenant Chris Barry from the Quincy Fire Department. The downloads were off the charts. This is by far the most popular and most downloaded episode in the shortest amount of time of all the episodes of the All About Quincy podcast. And I really want to thank you for sharing the episode and listening and all your great comments and feedback. And I want to take a moment to brag a little bit, because as of this recording, we have had 5,296 downloads of all the various odd and sundry episodes of the All About Quincy podcast. Thank you. And we're up to 608 followers on the All About Quincy podcast account on Instagram. And more people continue to sign up for our free newsletter. I talk more about the free newsletter at the end of the show, so be sure to stick around and listen to that in the show close. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to my conversation with Denise Hajar and Karen Smizer. Welcome back. As I said at the beginning of the program, my guests today are Denise Hajar, and she is the founder and owner of the Denise Hajar Collection, and Karen Smizer, and she is the director of philanthropy for an organization called South Shore Stars. And Denise, I met you, I think back in December. We were talking about the podcast, and you said, I want to save this interview for something special. And you said, I do a fashion show, and I want to talk to you in the spring. And you messaged me via email and Instagram and said, hey, I'm getting ready to do this interview with this fashion show. You put me in touch with Karen. We put this all together. Great minds think alike, because I had just found your business card and I remembered our conversation. And I said, I need to reach out to Denise and see when she's ready to rock and roll with this interview. So anyway, here we are. Denise, how are you?
Yes.
Karen, welcome to the All About Quincy podcast.
Great to be here. And I'm great. I'm just excited. The boardwalk is opened up again. Memorial weekend, quote unquote. All the boats are back in. Everything's open. All of our 3 shops are open. People are excited. And this has become an annual event now on the boardwalk. Can't believe how many years have gone by. And it's just great to be outdoors socializing for a cause. It's just wonderful to be in a different place, that you're not indoors, you're outdoors, enjoying the view and the weather, God willing, always. And people love it. I mean, I did it during the pandemic and they all came out wearing masks. They were just so happy to be out.
Everybody was stir crazy. Yeah. And Marina Bay is just a beautiful location. Before we get too far down the road on that, why don't you, for our listeners, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, your background, and how this all came about? And then, Karen, I'll ask you to do the same. Give us a little story about how South Shore Stars got started and how this event came together for the both of you. So, Denise, why don't we start with you?
So I'm really a Boston girl, Boston born and raised. I've been in the fashion design business, grew up in the South End, was fortunate enough to open up my first retail boutique at the Fairmont Copley Plaza Hotel, which was incredible experience for me. I was also at the Intercontinental Hotel and then had the opportunity to shift gears and move to Marina Bay, open up a retail store here. I've always believed as a young designer, starting out that giving back should be the norm and not the exception. And Karen will agree. She and I go way back with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, both of us starting an event called Big Dreams Start Small. And it did start small. We did it for 10 years. Our first year was 300 people. Our 10th year was 1,000 people.
Wow.
So it just tells you the power of the right charity, the right vehicle, the fashion show, all of that. So she and I are like sisters from a different mother working together. And I always do my fashion shows for charities and mostly for children because there's just so much need. When Karen said, let's you and I work together, last year didn't work out. And she said, let's start this year. I was just so happy because she and I are the same. We get it. We know it has to get done. We know what we want to do. And people want to help. And it's local. Everything stays in Quincy. And that's the other thing. I'm not trying to do this big fancy thing where the ticket price is a ridiculous amount of money. This is just wonderful local people coming to support a local charity.
That's great. So, Karen, tell us about South Shore Stars. What does South Shore Stars do, and how is it going to benefit from this eat, drink, and model event that you and Denise are putting together?
Sure. Well, South Shore Stars started in 1970. And in fact, we began our first program right here in Quincy at Broad Meadows. In our Quincy programs, we currently have 3 of our 9 programs that we provide early education with licensed care and school readiness for infants all the way through preschool. We also provide after school enrichment. And of that, we work with our children for tutoring, after school programming, as well as summer learning. So that summer learning provides, again, that structured support while having some great summer activities that provide that fun and safe environment.
I probably could have benefited from something like that because I was one of those guys that would go back to school in the fall, and particularly with math, and they'd start doing the math problems. There might be like 2 days of review from the previous year, and then they're moving on. And then some kid would remember something from like last year, and I go, how did you remember that?
How did you get that? Really, right?
It's like you step away. It's like when you don't drive your car for a little while and you get back behind the wheel and you feel, oh boy, I got to get current again. So those things are really helpful.
It's super helpful. And it's funny because the one thing that our directors are adamant about is that we make sure that the kids in our summer learning program all do their summer reading assignments. So parents are sending accolades saying, yes, I don't have to torture my kid when they get home.
I'm thinking about it. I graduated high school 40 years ago yesterday, and I'm thinking, wow. Yeah. And where did that go?
Where does it go?
We had to do summer reading going into my senior year. And we actually got in, I can still see it, walking into my English class, and they're like, okay, you're going to be quizzed on your reading. And I was like, you were serious about that?
Right? But I think that was just, I could think my way through it.
I was like, I almost got away all the way through high school, and you're going to get this on my last year? I'm not doing homework over
even
this summer.
Starting like in first grade. I mean, there's that summer reading. So
that's great. Denise, tell us about the fashion show. What are attendees going to be seeing?
The whole concept of this is, there's so many fundraisers that go on, and I wanted to do something that was more entertaining while delivering the message. Everyone knows why they're there. They're there to help raise money for whatever charity. I just want to make it fun and entertaining at the same time. And the pressure is not so obvious about, grabbing their dollars. So eat, drink, and model. It is, 1 hour of socializing, and catching up with your friends and seeing people you haven't talked to. Then there's a delicious dinner with wine and dessert, which is their favorite part. And then there's the silent auction. We're going to have a small live auction, raffle basket, and then the fashion show. And this fashion show is so high energy. The audience loves it. They know all the models. I work really hard with the DJ, doing the music, getting everybody pumped up, excited, happy. And it just makes this whole event a joyful one. They know that they're going to get asked to give back, and they don't, they want to do it because they've been entertained and enlightened about where the money's going to and how it's staying in Quincy. And it's Quincy 400 on top of that. So we're making it even a bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong? You've got all this going for it. Now, Denise, I have to ask you, are these your designs that will be modeled?
It's everything in my store. I retired from designing my own clothes a few years ago because I wanted to enjoy my life here at Marina Bay and not be working 24/7. And having this retail boutique has allowed me to do that. But you know what? People are buying my taste. So for me, that's a compliment. It's,
Right.
Whether I'm physically making it or buying it, they're buying my taste. They trust us. The women love shopping here. I've been blessed to open up a gift shop next door. It's gift items, home goods, and children's. Everything is local. There's our women-owned business. So that has become its own entity. People love knowing that they can get something very special next door. So I'm trying to create an experience for people coming to the boardwalk now. There has not been anything like that in a very, very long time. And I've been here 6 years now, and they keep telling me, oh my God, we didn't have anything to go to other than the restaurant. So now there's this on top of the restaurant.
Right, that's great. I think the gift shop is how I met you. We were there for the tree
Holiday.
lighting, and then
Yes.
we popped in and saw all the Quincy 400 merchandise. And the woman who was working there directed me into your boutique. And then I think we went down the boardwalk a little bit and walked into the coffee shop.
My husband, yes. So he has a little Italian cafe, and that's doing great. So doing these fundraisers, I think it's joyful and happy. I don't want it to get laborious. And I want people to walk away saying, oh, I can't wait to come back again next year. There's so many people that need dollars raised. And, so hopefully in my small part, I can do this and help South Shore Stars raise the dollars needed for their after school programs. And it will stay in Quincy.
Just sounds like a great combination. I mean, South Shore Stars has some great programs and fills a real need for people in the Quincy area, but also in other areas of the South Shore. And this just sounds like a fun way for people to have a fun night and feel good about donating to a worthwhile cause. I mean, eat, drink, model. You're going to get to listen to some great music, see some fancy clothes. You're going to have a nice meal, a little wine and dessert. And how can you go wrong? And you're going to feel good about helping out South Shore Stars. Have I summed that up accurately?
Have summed that up.
So.
And let me tell you, tickets are only $75. And so for that $75, you're getting a full dinner with wine and dessert. You're getting all the auction things that you can participate in and the fashion show. You can't go out to dinner, proper dinner for that amount of money. So we're hoping this will want to attract people and to be outdoors. Watching the sunset is at 8:30. The event is over by 8. So it's still light out. So there's no worry about being dark when the event is over. We worked this out really carefully.
This is my favorite time of year for that reason. It's just
true.
so nice to have the daylight so late in the
And we
evening.
expect you to be there as our guest and report on it afterwards and tell me what you thought of it.
Oh, sure. We'd love to do that. Give us the details. Tell us when
Sure.
this is all happening.
Yeah. So again, it's Tuesday, June 17th. It starts at 5 through 8 o'clock. at the Quincy Bay Marina, the boardwalk right there. Ticket price is $75. If you want to be able to get a table together to make sure that you're sitting with your friends, so it's a table of 6 for $450. And you can find all of that information on southshorestars.org. Looking forward to having a great event and raising dollars for the Stars Quincy programs.
That sounds great. They go to southshorestars.org to purchase
Correct.
tickets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you know what we're going to do is we're going to put the link in the show notes for this episode at allaboutquincypodcast.com, and we'll be promoting it through the email list and through our Instagram account at All About Quincy Podcast on Instagram. So we'll be pushing the event for you as well. If there is one thing you want our listeners to know as a result of our conversation today, what would that be?
I just want people to, first of all, know when, to come to Marina Bay to have a joyful evening for 3 hours, 4 hours, to have just a beautiful evening while they're giving to this wonderful organization. And I feel successful when I've done that. When I can put 300 people together for one evening, then I think I've done my job. So that's what I hope I can walk away with this year.
And it's outside?
And the rain date is the next day if we need to do that. We've not had to use that yet. So I've got the Blessed Mary in my window.
Hey, you know what? The way it's been going, it's not on the weekend. So
right.
That's true.
I know.
I heard about this new meteorological term. There's a new meteorological term for 2 consistent days of rain. Do you know what they call it after 2 consistent days of rain?
No. Sure.
It's called Monday.
John, I hate you, but okay. So as long as Tuesday is a gorgeous day, that's all we care about.
Well, that's all we care about is we want beautiful weather. And if it's going to be just like it is here today during our recording session.
Yeah.
And Karen, I'm going to ask you the same question. If there's one thing you want our listeners to come away with, what would that be?
I want to bring awareness to our great organization, STARS, particularly our programs of our 3 Quincy locations, letting them know that they're going to support early education, after school enrichment, also summer learning for about 400 kids in Quincy. And then again, being able to have a great time.
Let me ask you a question. After school enrichment, what's in that? What do they do?
We provide homework help and STEM activities along with just some safe spaces for our school age kids, learning while also having a great structured time during the summer.
John, I got the opportunity to go to South Shore Stars. And for me, I walked away with, more importantly, it was a safe space for little children. There are many parents who have to work long hours just to, make ends meet.
Right.
And this way they know that their kids are somewhere safe until they can get picked up. And that's what pulled at my heartstrings, and why I wanted to do that was basically give little children a safe space. And so knowing that this money is going to allow that, then the parents can work and not be worried about where is my child going to be because I can't afford daycare. Think of it that way, that you're giving children a safe space.
Yeah, keeping them out of trouble and the peace of mind. How do you put a price on that?
That's why I'm doing this with South Shore Stars.
That makes all the sense in the world. That sounds great. Denise and Karen, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on the All About Quincy podcast. And we are going to promote this Eat, Drink Model event on Tuesday, June 17th, starting at 5 p.m., with a full meal, wine, dessert, and fashion, and fun, and fundraising.
Fun and fundraising, yeah. Thank you so much, John, for helping us spread the word and showcase what we're going to be able to do on the 17th.
And again, tickets can be found at southshorestars.org. Thank you again, John.
That's what the show's all about. So thanks for being on. Well, that's it for this episode of the All About Quincy podcast. I want to thank you for listening. Check out the All About Quincy podcast on Instagram. That's a great way for you to connect with us. We are at All About Quincy podcast on Instagram. When you do, you're going to get an opportunity to sign up for our weekly Quincy Happenings e-newsletter. Every week, it's going to give you a handful of great events happening around Quincy so you can plan your schedules and make plans for the weekend or whatever, happening all around the city. So go there, get it for free. Just click the link at All About Quincy Podcast on Instagram, or you can sign up at allaboutquincypodcast.com. And remember, if you've got a great event coming up or you have a great guest that you think should be on the show, we want to know. Reach out to us at allaboutquincypodcast.com or send me a message through Instagram. We'll be back next week with more fun. In the meantime, thanks for listening.